He makes his way to me and wraps me in a hug. Wow, moving fast, isn't he? Oisin, I'm sorry. There's a wet sound and the rip of fabric. Then pain. Searing, blinding pain. Hey all you cool creatures, I'm Cryptid. Welcome to the Cryptid Plays YouTube channel, and today we are playing The Witch and the Prince, which was made for Yowie Game Jam of 2024. And it is about a witch's son who moves into a cabin in the forest after his mother's passing. He grieves in solitude until someone knocks at his door. The content warnings include death, mildly described gore in the bad endings, blood, loneliness, themes of social ostracization, grief, and sadness. This is primarily a sweet game, but, viewer discretion is advised. There are 2 bad endings, a friendship ending, and a romance ending, and we're gonna get them all. So, without further ado, let's get started. It's been raining for the past few days. The forest outside is quiet, dark, gloomy. It's fitting. Mother is gone. The world is a colder place without her. I turn my eyes back to my belongings, still mostly piled into crates. I haven't been able to bring myself to do anything about it until now. I haven't been able to bring myself to do much at all, to be fair. It all feels so pointless. What do I care if the walls are bare? If the windows are curtainless? If the bed lacks a comforter? I just want to sleep and forget. But Mother would say that making myself miserable and uncomfortable isn't going to bring her back. And, annoyingly, she'd be right. I sigh and get to unpacking what little I have left of our old life. I'm lucky Mother decided against selling this cabin back when money was tight. I don't know where I would have gone otherwise. I miss our old home. I find Mother's portrait. She smiles at me, eyes gentle. I set it down on top of the fireplace. It makes me feel a little better. It's less lonely with her watching over me. There's someone at the door. My heart starts running. Did the townsfolk follow me here? No, I need to keep a cool head. If they had followed me here, they wouldn't be knocking. I'm pretty sure you could bring the door down with a good kick or 2. Maybe someone got lost in the forest. I open the door and meet eyes with a stranger. Whoa, he is beautiful. He is beautiful, dazzlingly so. From the way he stands to the clothes he wears, there's something noble about him. Princely, that's the only word you could use to describe him. Oh, good afternoon. His voice is so soft. It's hard to pick it out from the rain. It makes me want to lean in closer, just so I can hear him better. I hope I am not bothering you. His smile is warm, comforting. When I heard someone had moved into this cabin, I just had to come over and introduce myself. I figured I ought to be a good neighbor and see if you needed anything. I am Oisin. May I have your name? I'm not sure, but I feel like not trusting him might lead to the bad endings. So let's give a nickname. Something doesn't add up. He said he wanted to be a good neighbor, but there's no other houses here for miles. Spooky. And he looks a little too handsome, a little too perfect, like a carnivorous plant, luring me into lowering my guard. And more damningly still, he's dry. It's been raining hard, non-stop, the entire day, and yet not a single droplet of water fell on him while he made his way to my porch. Maybe he's a fairy? He's probably not human. Names have power. Giving it away might be dangerous. I'll just give him a nickname for now. Better safe than sorry. You may call me Moth. Oh, is that so? Nice to meet you, Moth. He seemed a little surprised, like he somehow knows I gave him a fake name, but didn't expect I would. He even seems happy about it. Was it some kind of test? Did I pass? The more I look at him, the easier it is to spot the seams of the glamour, concealing his true appearance. I'm not as good at magic as my mother was, but I can still spot the delicate weaving of it, now that I'm paying attention. He has to be a fairy. Every sign points to it. Which means I have to be very, very careful. Fairies can be deadly on a good day, even with the proper wards. And I haven't put any of those up yet. I felt sorry for myself and decided to mope instead, like a dumbass. Oh, it's fine. He is strong. I can feel it deep in my bones. He could tear me apart. He hasn't done so yet, because as a fairy, he has to abide by the rules of hospitality. Would you mind letting me in? It is terribly cold outside. It's a risky gamble, but what choice do I have? Would you remove your disguise then? As a guest, hiding one's true self behind a mask seems rather rude. He stares at me. For an uncomfortably long stretch of time, the silence sits honey thick between the two of us. Then he bows his head, and his appearance warps and twists. Oh no, he's hot! A pair of antlers crown his head. Wings jut out from his back. 4 eyes, a strangely ridged face, fangs, pointed ears. He is hot AF. He is still devastatingly handsome, in a very inhuman way, yes, but apparently I am into that. Yes, we are. I'm learning new things about myself today. One of your kind being so perceptive is quite unusual. What tipped you off? His voice is still the same, soft and pleasant, but his face seems a little inexpressive. I wonder if fairies just don't move their face as much as humans do. Maybe it's those ridges. They look stiff, in a way human skin isn't. I kinda wanna touch them. That would definitely be rude. Well, I mean, not if you're dating him, but yes, otherwise, don't touch strangers' faces. You are staring. Oh. And you have not answered me yet. Uh-oh. Way to look like a weirdo. It's hard to explain. The magic you used was very well weaved, but a little too well. It was a little uncanny, if that makes sense. Oisin listens quietly to me, eyes unreadable. Is that good? Bad? You are sharp. Oh, that smile was so cute. Now that we have both properly introduced ourselves, may I please come inside your home? He could just push me aside and walk in if he wanted, but he is being a proper guest. I can only play along. Of course. I let him in. He looks around, not even bothering to conceal his curiosity. I offer him one of my chairs, pushing some of the clutter off of the small table. Have a seat. Sorry, I wasn't expecting visitors today. I haven't cleaned up. I hate that I feel like I have to justify myself for the mess. You have been here for a while. Why have you not unpacked? Wow, rude. Well, it's none of his business. I just haven't gotten around to it. Fairy or not, I'm not going to let a stranger nose into my personal business. I don't need him to understand me, let alone pity me. Really, but... I cut him off with a smile. Would you like some tea? Ah, yes. That would be lovely. What kind of tea do you like best? He looks surprised. Maybe people don't usually bother to ask. I hope it's not the fancy stuff. Mother and I could barely make ends meet. let alone buy expensive tea for all the guests we weren't entertaining. Violets. I like violet tea. He looks so embarrassed about it. Oh, baby. He's so cute. That's surprisingly cute. Yeah, I can do that. Really? My mother and I used to go pick flowers and hang them to dry. So I have plenty of violets. Just give me a moment. I head to the kitchen corner to fill my old kettle. It's not pretty, banged up and tarnished, but the tea always tastes sweeter when I use it. I place it on the burner and fish out a couple of unchipped cups from the cupboard. They're simple, but they're clean, so that will have to do. As for spoons, however, I only found 2 of them. The others are probably shoved at the bottom of a crate, but I don't really have the time to go through all of those. One of these spoons was Mother's favorite, silvery and delicately engraved with little flowers. It's one of the nicest things we ever owned. The other spoon is an uneven thing. I carved it as a teenager out of a piece of wood I found, and, well, let's just say I wasn't naturally gifted at wood carving. Oh no, it's a nice spoon. I tried to sculpt the handle into a fox, but it honestly looks more like a fat squirrel than anything else. It looks like a fox to me. Still, it's a perfectly serviceable spoon. Which one should I give to my guest? Well, if regular fairy lore serves, certain metals don't mesh well with fairies, but let's do it. Yeah, that one should do. It's the prettiest one I have, and Oisin seems the type to like shiny things. I quickly pour the water on the dried violet blossoms. I let it steep for a moment, then strain the flowers out. Inside the cups, the tea is a deep blue, like a cloudless sky. Mother's tray is somewhere, so instead of wasting more time looking for it, I precariously carry both cups and spoons, sticking the honey jar in the crook of my elbow. I make my way back to my guest. Let's see how this goes. Careful now. Better not scald him and get cursed. There you go. Thank you. You look displeased. Yeah, I knew it. I will simply assume you were ignorant and not take offense with your choice of cutlery. Fairies cannot touch iron. It burns us as surely as red embers would burn you. I am so sorry. I had no idea. Here, let's swap. I switched the spoons, feeling incredibly stupid. Why would I ever think my mother would own something made of silver? We were never rich enough to afford it. Time passes as we both focus on our cups of violet tea. The rain outside doesn't seem to let up. Oisin raises his head and looks at me, thoughtful. It is not unusual for woodsmen to live away from other humans. This cabin does seem especially remote and distant from human settlements, however. I'm not a woodsman, if that's what you're asking. Allow me to be more direct. Why did you move so far away from your kind? From what I learned, humans are not solitary creatures by nature. I sigh and focus on idly stirring my tea. Humans are superstitious and untrusting of magic. My mother was gifted. She was very skilled in magic, a genius amongst witches. She had a kind soul. She'd never turn anyone away who sought her help. And so the townsfolk looked the other way. Her magic was too useful to pass on. I wished so many times that she would turn them away. How many nights were we awoken by people banging at our door, begging for our help, only for them to turn their nose up at us the next day. However, I am not nearly as talented at healing magic as my mother was. So, in their eyes, once she died, I became both a burden and a threat. I left for my own safety. I inherited this cabin from my mother, and yes, it isn't ideal. Being alone makes me a lot more vulnerable to danger, but I have nowhere else to go. I thought humans usually paired up to raise their kits, but you only mentioned a mother. Is that your way of asking why my father didn't help? If you are allowing me to ask plainly, yes, I don't mind. I never had a father, none that mother mentioned, at least. Maybe he left, maybe he never even knew I existed. Either way, he was never in the picture. I never needed him up until now, so it's not like his presence was missed. I just don't really care about him. I can somewhat relate to that. My father and I, we acknowledge each other's existence, and that is about the extent of our bond. Sometimes he hands me some unpleasant task he wants me to carry out. He is more of a lord than a parent in many ways. Nonetheless, I am still able to rely on his help in tough times. Whereas you, Oisin, is quiet, his handsome face twisted in a grimace. He looks sad. That was cruel of them. Who? Those townsfolk. To cast you out without a chance to know you properly. Just cruel. I wonder if he's being genuine, or if it's Fae trickery to get me to lower my guard. He seems sincere, eyes soft and voice gentle. I don't know which option would sting the most, knowing it was a lie all along, or that he showed me more compassion than my own species. And to do so right after your mother passed is simply insulting and ill-mannered. Despite the grim topic, I can't help but snort. Fairies are truly bound by much stricter rules than humans, aren't they? Strangely enough, humans are rarely concerned with etiquette while threatening each other. Truly mind-boggling. Is he pouting at humanity's irrational behavior? Cute. The more I talk to Oisin, the less scary he seems. Are all fairies like him? Though all humans aren't like me, so I suppose the point is moot. Still, I want to learn more about him. Mother had very few books on Fae culture, mostly ones on ways to ward them off. You asked me questions about my life. May I do the same? You may ask as many questions about your own life as you wish. Oh, cheeky. I can hardly stop you. You know what I meant. I did, yes. Smartass. He's right, however. When dealing with fairies, one should be careful with their wording. Many of them are rumored to exploit whatever loopholes they might find to their advantage. May I please ask about your life? He nods in approval of my more precise question. Was he worried about me? Ask away. It is only fair. Ask about his family? You mentioned your father. You said he asks you to carry on unpleasant tasks. What does that mean? He instantly clams up. Looks like I just prodded a sore spot. Oops. That is not a subject I am willing to discuss. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry. No, it is not your fault. I did give you permission to ask me questions. It just so happens to be a complex matter. My father is the king of the wild. His orders are near absolute. Wait, he's a prince? He looks noble, if nothing else. I mean, he definitely looks the part, but what's a prince doing in my shitty cabin? As his son and his subject, I am twice sworn to his service. So I am not allowed to discuss that topic with you more than what I already did. He's not lying. I am convinced of this. His beautiful eyes are staring right back at me. However, I am certain he's not telling the full truth either. There's something more to it. Still, it's probably none of my business anyway. I understand. I won't ask you about it anymore. Do you have siblings, then? He doesn't exactly look elated by the subject matter, but he doesn't look angry. I'll take mildly bored as a win. Quite a few of them, yes. From my mother, I have 3 older siblings, and from his second marriage to my stepmother, my father sired 4 sisters. We rarely see each other, as my older siblings are quite busy, and my half-sisters are toddlers still. Ah, you're not exactly close, then? No, we are not. I am an only son, so I was wondering what it was like. He seriously thinks about it for a moment. Mostly, it is noisy. A little underwhelming. Still, I managed to steer our conversation away from sensitive topics. Silence settles once again around us. I fill Oisin's cup again. He thanks me with a bow of his head. This probably shouldn't even cross my mind, but he hasn't mentioned a significant other. It's been nice talking to him, even with the threat of a fairy curse. He makes me feel like I'm worth listening to. It's been a long time since a guy made me feel like that. Like I'm a human being and not some sort of unwanted stray. It doesn't hurt that he's nice to look at, in his strange, fey way. Well, as a monster lover, he is very nice to look at. It's probably a little sad of me to be so into someone who's clearly way above my league. But shit, I really want to know if I have the faintest chance. Don't pry. No, that's a really personal question, and I have no idea what the Fae etiquette in this situation would be. Besides, look at him. He's a prince. He's handsome. He's powerful. He probably can't swing a cat by the tail without hitting a suitor. There's no way he's single. Do fairies even do the whole romance thing? I'm just a little too desperate for a connection, aren't I? Better just smother that little pang of yearning before it becomes trouble. Just drink your tea, moth, and be quiet. You mentioned your mother was talented at healing magic, didn't you? Yes, she truly was one of a kind. Considering your keen eye for illusion magic and glamour, I am guessing you are also gifted. Am I correct in this assumption? Well, I have some arcane knowledge of my own. I usually prefer to leave it at that. My magic isn't as pleasant or as useful as Mother's. She often said magic was a tool, that it was only ever evil when used for evil purposes. But hers was like a needle, mending and bringing together what was once pulled apart. Mine is different. May I see it? He's on the edge of his seat, hands brought together in excitement. With all due respect, I would rather not. Oh. And now I feel bad. It's like I kicked a puppy. A very, very dangerous puppy looking at me sadly with his beautiful golden eyes. Why are you so interested? Aren't the fair folk magic by birthright? We are indeed. But that is why your people's magic is so fascinating. I don't understand. How should I explain it? He thinks for a second, then nods to himself before starting his explanation. For us, magic is like water to a fish. We breathe it and move through it. It is an instinctual, vital thing that most of us never even have to question. Does that make sense? So far, so good. On the downside, despite the magic granting us abilities other creatures might not have, we cannot live without it. Like fishes, we are confined to ponds and rivers. This forest, for example, is one such pond. However, humans are not metaphorical fishes. Human magic is like fungi. So I'm a fungus now. Rude. No, fungi are good. Oh my god, he is so cute. Let me explain. He coughs a little, trying to focus again on his metaphor. What I mean is, humans don't need to be inside the pond or the river. You simply reach down with your mycelium into the soil to grab the magic you need. You may even pass some of that magic to another through shared roots. Of course, some of you are naturally better at using the gift, but most of the depth you reach, most of the water you pull, is only coming to you through hard work. And while most fishes are identical, fungi are incredibly different from one another. Do you mean that one fairy can usually do the same thing as any other fairies, whereas humans have a wider range of their magical abilities? Exactly. I suppose that makes sense. Although, if you know so much about humans' magic, I don't really see why you're that interested in mine. Well, I have never had the chance to see it in person. I have only read about it in books. I would really love to see what your magic looks like, if you'll allow it. What is the worst choice? Refuse or go all out? Let's go all out. It seems like a terrible idea. I really want to impress him. And while I might not be as talented as Mother, I am a competent witch in my own right. I'd be happy to show you. Really? You would? Yeah, of course. I'd be a poor host if I didn't. Wouldn't I? Oh, not necessarily. My prying already crossed the bounds of what is appropriate. You are absolutely entitled to refuse my request, or any other from my kin, for that matter. Oh, knowing with certitude that I could say no if I wanted to. Well, I already wanted to show off, but now I'm even more determined. You're making sure I know I don't have to. Are you worried about me being taken advantage of? Maybe. Got it. I'll be careful. Good. I'll need some materials for my demonstration. Would you give me a moment? He bows his head, his jewelry clinking softly with the gesture. Of course. Finding what I'm looking for might take me a while. I could settle for something smaller, easier. Oisin has been fairly easy to please. I don't think this would be any different. But I want to impress him. He's a prince, and his magic is powerful. You can just feel it rippling around him, soft and cool to the touch. I am probably just a desperate fool about to humiliate myself, but I want to get to know him better. I want him to look at me like an equal, like I'm worth something. I finally find half of what I'm looking for. A small blue speckled egg resting inside a nest. The other part takes a bit longer. By the time I got everything I need, I'm drenched. The rain has soaked through my clothes. The fabric clings to my skin. I hurry back inside the cabin with my treasures. Sorry for the wait. Not at all. He's so cute. I can't help but preen internally at the way his eyes wanders up and down my arms. I'm allowed a little vanity when a really attractive man checks me out, right? Is that a rabbit skull? Oh, yes. The entire skeleton, actually. It was a lucky find. Stumbling upon a complete, pristine set of bones is rare. But then again, I always seem to find my way to the dead things of this world. Well, here I go. I set the bones on the table and lay my right hand over it. I simply hold the robin egg in my left. I close my eyes and I call the magic to me. It comes to me easily. This forest is gorged with it. The egg shakes and withers. I can feel its life force draining, traveling down my fingers, down my arm. I hold it in, just for a moment. It burns, pulsing against my soul like a small star. I let it travel back up my right arm, my fingers, pouring it into the bones. So we are skilled at necromancy. I kind of thought that was the case, but couldn't tell. They clatter softly, rearranging themselves into the shape of a rabbit. Then they twitch and shiver, legs kicking, head trembling. I am now holding the charred remains of the egg, and on my table, a reanimated rabbit skeleton sits up. There you go. Oisin stares at my hands, silent. Maybe this was a mistake. I thought fairies weren't the type to get the pitchforks and torches out at the drop of a hat. But I might have gotten it wrong. I must say I wasn't expecting necromancy. He doesn't sound angry or scared. I let out a sigh of relief, despite myself. Nobody ever expects necromancy. No matter how much I look the part. He reaches out to the dead rabbit, who gives his fingers a sniff. He's gentle with it, like it's a normal pet, and not a reanimated corpse. Such a rare form of magic. You are truly one of a kind. Thanks? No, thank you. I better understand why you were hesitant to show me your magic. Necromancy is considered distasteful in human society, is it not? That's putting it lightly. Think more along the lines of taboo and forbidden. That is a pity. Either way, I appreciate your trust. I will not betray it. He cocks his head to the side, listening. The rain stopped. Did it? I didn't realize. I should go. Thank you for the tea. My pleasure. Will you visit again? If you allow it, I would like that. I need to have a talk with my father. Your presence here has raised some alarm, but I believe you have no ill intentions. If anything, you need refuge from your own people. If my presence is too much of an issue, I could try to move away. I'd need a few weeks at least, and it'd suck ass, but I am not picking fights with a fairy king. Even if his son is stupidly attractive and fun to talk to. I didn't mean to trespass. I know that now. I will speak on your behalf. As long as I live, you are safe in this forest. I promise. Thank you, Oisin. No, thank you. I look forward to getting to know you better, Moth. I will visit you again soon. Ending 3 out of 4. Budding friendship. Well, I assume that we can get one ending easily by giving our name. So we will do that. Just give me a minute. Alright. Real name time. Oh, of course. My name is... Here we go! I knew this would be like a full-on bad ending. The forest starts to spin. It's like I'm drunk, without any of the pleasant buzz that usually comes with alcohol. What's happening? My head feels... I fall to the ground. Thank you for giving me your name. He looks at me with the same friendly smile as my vision starts to blur and warp. I shall take good care of it. His appearance shifts as the glamour that hid his true nature unravels. What is he? He crouches and cups my face between his hands. Gentle. It's nice. He's warm. It is a pity. I wish we had met under different circumstances. But humans are not allowed in this forest. My father wanted to flay the flesh off your bones. I am glad I can make your death painless. I try to say something, but the words won't come. My head is full of cotton. I can't focus on anything but his skin against mine. Close your eyes, dear one. Soon, this will all be over. Oisin kisses my forehead. He is so warm, so gentle. I close my eyes, and everything fades away. Ending 1 of 4, stolen name, stolen life. Now we're back here. I don't know how to get the other bad ending. Let's tell him we're in mourning. I recently lost my mother. Chores felt pointless, so I fell behind on them. It's just been a difficult time. Oh, he looks like he feels bad for being nosy now. But I can't bring myself to regret being blunt about it. It's a relief saying it out loud. I had to be strong since Mother died, just to survive. Sharing my grief openly with someone else. It's good. Now he looks mad? Maybe I fucked myself over. Fairies are notoriously prideful. I brace myself for the fight. I might not be able to beat an adult fairy, but I'm not going down easy. I apologize. I spoke out of turn. Criticizing your home after I barged in was improper. I felt concern, as I do believe humans care for creature comfort. But I ended up thoughtlessly pouring salt on a fresh wound. I just don't know how to answer. This is the last thing I expected him to say. He remains silent, visibly thinking. Then he seems to make up his mind. My own mother passed when I was but a child. Her presence is still missed to this day. My condolences. Oh, thank you. The silence stretches awkwardly between us, but the air feels a little lighter. Would you like some tea? Ah, yes. That would be lovely. What kind of tea do you like best? We're gonna try the silver spoon again. He's upset. Ask about his hobbies. What do you do with your free time? I don't suppose you spend your days just wandering up to isolated cabins. No, indeed. That is a pretty rare instance. As for my free time, a prince isn't allowed such things. Really? That sounds exhausting. Wait, he's a prince? I mean, he definitely looks the part, but what's a prince doing in my shitty cabin? But he hesitates once again. Promise me you will not laugh at me. I promise. I believe you. I rarely have time to myself, but late at night, when the palace is quiet and the courtiers are asleep, I like to climb up the rooftop and observe the stars. He sounds so excited to talk about it. You'd have to be a special kind of asshole to make fun of him now. I acquired a human book on astronomy a few years ago. It fascinated me. I learned so much from it. I even followed the diagrams and built a telescope. How did you even manage that? It was not easy. The lenses were the hardest part to source. But I have a few friends that are allowed to travel farther than me, and they were allowed to commission them from a glass blower down south. The rest of the pieces I was able to make myself. I am a somewhat competent jeweler, enough to produce those kinds of mechanical parts, at least. He's so happy, the wings on his back flutter a little. This might be the first time I've seen him this enthusiastic about anything. It is far from perfect, but it is a working telescope. That's incredible. And you only had the schematics in that one book? They were very detailed schematics. You should be proud of yourself. It's very impressive. Thank you for the compliment and for not laughing. Any time. Silence settles once again around us. I fill Oisin's cup again. He thanks me with a bow of his head. Alright, are you single? Come on, don't be a coward, Moth. You already have a deadly magical being in your home. It's not like things can get much worse. So, are you? Ugh, why am I acting like a teenager with a crush? Out with it already. Do you have someone special in your life? Special. He blinks and cocks his head to the side. Yes, special. What I mean is, are you courting anyone, perhaps? I would wager you have your pick of suitors. Okay, I need to shut the fuck up. That was terrible flirting, even by my standards. You would be surprised. No, I am not courting anyone. Not yet. You never know when and where you might meet the one. So I am keeping my eyes open. Uh-oh? That's good. You have beautiful eyes. I mean, it's good you're keeping an open mind. Smooth. You are an interesting man, Moth. I am a man, Moth. Thank you for noticing. Am I? You mentioned your mother was talented at healing magic, didn't you? Yes, okay. We're gonna skip ahead. What if we refuse? I shouldn't. Oh, you've been pleasant to talk to, and I wish I could do things differently, but it's a lot of trust to put in someone I just met. That is quite fair. He cocks his head to the side, listening. The rain stopped. Alright. We're friends again, I guess. Simple. Spell? Well, if he were human, this would be a risky gamble, but he is not. I don't know if fairies are the type to get pitchforks and torches out at the drop of a hat. But Oisin, at least, doesn't give me that impression. Alright, I'll show you. Really, you would? Yeah, I'd be a poor host if I didn't, wouldn't I? Oh, not necessarily. That actually makes me feel better about the whole thing. Wouldn't it just be better for you if you had let me believe I had to accept? Maybe, but I do believe you deserve to hear the blunt truth. Do not expect the same courtesy from my kin, however. Got it. I'll be careful. Good. He's worried about me being tricked by other fairies. Why is this guy so nice to me? Find our materials. An acorn and a dead plant. Very basic components. I can do better than that, but it is safer to keep some of my abilities quiet. Oisin seems kind, but he's a prince. His loyalty is probably to his people, first and foremost. If he thinks I'm a threat, he might just get rid of me entirely. He is powerful. You can just feel magic ripple around him. I'm not suited for combat. Fighting him would be a death sentence. I find the acorn lying in the mud. Nearby a dead fern. Perfect. I head back inside the cabin with my treasures. Sorry for the wait. Not at all. Well, here I go. I open my hands. Acorn in the left, fern in the right. I close my eyes and I call the magic to me. It comes easily. This forest is gorged with it. Alright. The acorn shakes and withers. I can feel its life force draining, traveling down my fingers, down my arm. I hold it in just for a moment. It's warm, soft against my soul. Then I let it travel back up my right arm, my fingers pouring it into the dead fern. And dead it is no more. The blades unfurl, the rust brown fading to a brilliant green. The stalk straightens back up. The rhizome grows roots once again. I am now holding the charred remains of the acorn and a perfectly healthy fern. All done. Oisin stares at the fern, silent. I must say I wasn't expecting necromancy. He doesn't sound angry or scared. Let's see what the end is. Alright. I should go. Thank you for the tea. My pleasure. Will you visit again? If you allow it, I would like that. Alright. This is the friendship ending again. Alright, none of his business. Silver spoon. Family. Don't cry. Refuse. He gets up. Oh, the rain stopped. I think it's time for me to take my leave. Thank you for the tea. Oh, my pleasure. Will you visit again? No. So I chose all the answers he didn't like. So, oh. He makes his way to me and wraps me in a hug. Wow, moving fast, isn't he? Oisin, I'm sorry. There's a wet sound and the rip of fabric. Then pain. Searing, blinding pain. I can't even scream. I wanted to make your death painless, but you would not give me your name. He's holding a heart in his left hand. My heart. I try to speak, but only blood comes out. I try to curse him, use a spell, but I can't focus. I need to look after my people, Moth. Keeping them safe is my duty. This is gorgeous. My legs can't carry my weight anymore, but Oisin holds me up, his right arm tight around my waist. I can't help but think. It's been a long time since anyone hugged me so close. He's warm. Maybe you are harmless, despite all of your secrets. But I cannot be certain of it. And as you said, it's a lot of trust to put in someone I just met. Goodbye, dear one. I'm sorry. Ending 2 of 4, broken-hearted. Ooh. Alright, so we're gonna tell him we're in mourning. We're gonna give him the wooden spoon. This is the one choice I haven't gotten. I'm pretty sure I remember something about fairies and metal not getting along. Oisin's wearing a lot of golden jewelry, so I'm not sure if I'm remembering it right. Better safe than sorry, right? I think he'll be angrier if he thinks I tried to poison him than if he thinks I kept the best spoon for myself. I quickly poured the water on the dried violet blossoms. I let it steep for a moment, then strained the flowers out. Alright, I make my way back to my guest. Careful now, better not scald him and get cursed. There you go. Thank you. It has been a long time since I had violet tea. He looks at his spoon and frowns. That spoon. Shit, is he mad it's so ugly? Is it a... I think he just has a very, severe face. Is it a fox? Oh, yes. I'm surprised you recognized it as one, lopsided as it is. It was my first project and, well, you made this. Lay it down first. I don't feel like getting laughed at for my poor craftsmanship. I did when I was a child. It's just a silly hobby, nothing more. Oh. He goes quiet and then goes back to drinking his tea. Aww. Alright, flirt. Yes, I carved it. Shit, I might as well shoot my shot. What is this music? It's kinda cheesy. Maybe it's pathetic, but I don't care. I haven't had a guy listen to me so intently in years, let alone one that handsome. God, you and me both. Dangerous and inhuman, yes, but handsome. I was a kid back then, so my craftsmanship was rather shoddy, but I got quite skilled with my hands over the years. Oh, that is good to know. I will certainly keep that in mind. Score, kinda. He didn't seem to hate me hitting on him, at least. I'll take it. A win is a win. He smiles at me, and then smiles at the fox. I watch as his clawed fingers trace the design delicately. Alright, we're gonna go ahead. Alright, ask about his hobbies. Ask if he's single. Come on, don't be a coward. Are you courting anyone? We badly flirted, but let's show off. Go all out. Let's see what happens if he likes us a lot. I'd be happy to show you. Really, you would? Yeah, of course. I'd be a poor host if I didn't, wouldn't I? Oh, not necessarily. Alright, let's see what happens. Necromancy is considered distasteful in human society, is it not? That's putting it lightly. Think more along the lines of taboo and forbidden. That is a pity. Either way, I appreciate your trust. I will not betray it. He pets the undead rabbit, right between where its ears should be. The rabbit seems happy about it. I probably shouldn't feel so jealous of a dead, reanimated abomination. The rain stopped. Oh, I hadn't noticed. I should go. Must you? I didn't realize how nice it was to have someone to talk to until he mentioned leaving. Thank you for the tea. My pleasure. Will you visit again? Yes, if you allow it. I would greatly enjoy seeing you again. I can't help but feel my face heat up. What is it about this guy that makes me feel like I'm a teen again? You. Look at this, everyone. This is gorgeous. He takes my hand, bringing it to his face to kiss my knuckles. I've been looking for you for a very, very long time. Will you allow me to court you properly? Court? Me? Did I misunderstand your intentions? If so, just say the word and you'll never hear a word about it ever again. No, you didn't misunderstand me. I just didn't expect you to, reciprocate my interest. Why wouldn't I? You're a handsome, kind, and fascinating man. If I blush any more, I fear my face might catch fire. I see that you don't believe my praises. It does not matter. From now on, I will have plenty of time to convince you I'm right. I need to have a talk with my father. Your presence here has raised some alarm. If my presence is too much of an issue, please do not even consider leaving. I will speak on your behalf. I will call in favors if I must. But my father will not raise a hand against the one I am courting. I don't want to be trouble, but thank you, Oisin. No, thank you. I look forward to getting to know you better, Moth. Talking with you was the best thing that has happened to me in a very long time. I will visit you again soon. See you soon, dear one. Ending 4 of 4, courted by a prince. Well, that was wonderful. Before I do my outro, I just want to do my channel member shout out real quick. Thank you so much for your support. Not only does it help me, it helps the channel continue to grow and it helps the videos keep coming. I truly appreciate it. Now on to the outro. That was The Witch and the Prince. I didn't know what to expect when going into it at first, but I thought it would be cute, and I wasn't wrong. That was wonderful. I love fae. This even proves they can still be scary, but the romance was very sweet. The friendship was too. I really liked that. I also liked the twist of our main character being a necromancer while his mother had been a healer. It's kind of a neat tie-in with each other's magic, but also a difference. Oh no, I really loved that. And as an aside, the character designs in this were wow. Oisin, beautiful. I love that kind of design for a fae. Make them scary, make them beautiful. He looked like a magical creature, and I totally dug that. But anyways, enough rambling. If you made it this far, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of me, but you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. I upload videos 3 times a week, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.